Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again for us tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're glad you all could be with us today. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, can connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. You may or may not recognize my next guest, even though she has been with me time after time, like the song says. But she has a lot of great things happening in March. We're excited to talk about. We're now live on the Amazon Live side with Cyrus Ware Presents. Going to type you guys in a quick welcome message over there. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon side, make sure you guys hit that follow button. We're about to hit another big milestone over there on Amazon. I'm going to be talking about that this week. You'll see the follow button in this corner or down below. You also will see the books by our next guest, the Melissa Banks is back with us today. You guys know her as a master event planner, best-selling author, media personality, as well as an individual who's been able to make her own history, which is very appropriate as we're in Women's History Month. We're going to talk to her about the path she's been able to blaze for herself, all the grand new projects that she has, including the book you guys can pre-order right now on the Amazon side. Going to highlight it, The Life I Design, and it's going to be a big one. So that's coming up later. Melissa, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you today?
Doing extraordinary. Thank you so much for asking. ESP Presents, hello to you over there on IG. Going to type you a welcome message over there. So, Melissa, here we are at the beginning, technically, of Women's History Month, but you also are blazing your own trail. I want to talk about these past 6 years for you, Melissa, because I was thinking about when I was prepping for today, and I was having this conversation with a friend of ours recently, and that is we sometimes are so in the middle of everything we're doing. I want you to think about what it's been like for you to blaze a new trail for yourself as a published author, then a best-selling author, hosting not one show, but then now hosting two of your own podcasts. What has it been like for you to think about the history you're creating?
It's interesting you say that because you're correct. We get so into what we're doing. Sometimes we don't step outside and take a look at what's happening. And recently I found myself only looking at just staying busy, and not really grasping the place I am. The place I am is not a place I dreamed about being. I could not dream that I would be not only a published author, like you said, but a best-selling author of several books.
Mhm.
That wasn't part of something I dreamed. So when I take a moment and really look at my life and the things that are happening, I find myself so appreciative and so in awe, because I
Mm.
never thought that I would be in this place. And I'm so grateful. And each day when I'm looking at it, you have to just take a moment, Cyrus. You have to take a moment and look and see what you have done and what you are doing. And that's
Yeah.
when you can appreciate it. But we stay so busy, we don't appreciate it
Hmm.
because we can't see it.
Yeah, exactly. And let's be honest too, Melissa, I think you would agree with this. Because of that, our own narrow vision, we don't always see the wins. We see the misses. We see the things that we say we didn't get done or the things that people may say we didn't do. How important has it been for you to change the way you think about what you're achieving from day to day?
Full transparency. I just went through a period where I did things were happening, but I was only focusing on the things that were not happening and making comments. Nothing is happening, nothing is working. But then when I stopped and started writing down the last 30 days, just the last 30 days, and the
Hmm.
things that God has been so good and gracious to me, when I started doing that, it changed from frustration to what am I going to do, panic moments, to gratitude. And that's when I was able to see the things that were actually happening. And I don't believe that that only happens to me. I think it happens to a lot of us. We just focus on what's not happening and we get stuck there.
Right.
You can't move forward if you're focused on what's not happening. And that was the key, to look at what was happening, embrace what was happening, and continue to move.
Exactly. Randy Richardson, hello to you over there on IG. Good to be able to see you, my friend. Enjoying your new book, too. I'm looking forward to talking with you about it. Melissa, I'm going to highlight for our audience over on the Amazon side your very first book, Dream by Design, the devotional. Seems like forever ago, I know, since you released this one. But there was an interesting message that I thought was very appropriate for this conversation. And it came from this book right here. And here it is right here. Your dreams is worth the wait. So I want to talk about that, Melissa, because we do live in a world that is so quick. It is so easy for us to want to rush things. How important has it been for you to be involved in the process, but know that it is a process that's happening?
I have to keep reminding myself, right? Because I've been building my business for over 26 years, and there have been some really great wins, but there's also been some losses and some disappointments. And because of that, if you make it where quitting is an option, if you have those days that you just don't believe, maybe those days that your dream is heavy, you have to find a way that lifts you up. Maybe
Mhm.
talking to a coach, maybe talking to a spiritual advisor, maybe picking up a devotional and reading some affirmations to keep you moving so that you can stay focused, so that you can be there when the dream happens. I
Yeah.
constantly remind myself, if I quit today, all this hard work that I've already did and believe in, I will quit too soon because I haven't gotten to where I want to be. So
Hmm.
don't make quitting an option. Stay focused and feed into your mind hope, affirmations that keep you going during those times that the dream seems heavy for you.
So true. Dr. Deborah Davis, hello to you over there. Deborah says she needs help planning an event. You need to DM Melissa for sure. That's what she's been doing for over 20 years. So, with that being said, to Melissa, I strategically, by not accident, have one of your books up here, and that is Plan It Like a Pro. You have three books that actually deal with event planning. You have A Perfect Day, your newest ebook that's out. Now you also have Plan It Like a Pro. And then, of course, you have your book, Do I Really Need an Event Planner? I want to talk about what that's been like for you because it's interesting. I use in my work that I do as a coach, I use the analogy of the apple and how we can have our core product, but other things can spin off of it. These three books are a great example of that for you, Melissa. You have your core product of event planning, of being able to do events, and yet you've been able to create books around that. What has that been like for you to see how that has been recognized? And not only your over 2 decades as an event planner, but also how the resources you've been able to share in your books have helped people.
That is so rewarding and exciting. Every time I see them, every time I talk to someone about them or answer a question, I feel excited, Cyrus, because it's one thing to be doing something a long time, but to be able to share it and impact other people's lives, maybe an inspiring planner, or maybe just somebody who loves planning events that picked up that book, and it encourages me, and it's such a big help. So I'm excited about having business books. I never thought I would, but I love it. I love the people who have read them, put them in place. Plan It Like a Pro is such a great book for someone who just love planning events or someone who's starting a business because it breaks down the process. It is just great. And the ebook that's out now, that's one of my loves. That's one of my favorites. For one thing, it's about weddings. Of course, weddings are always exciting, but also it breaks it down in a way that weddings can be fun and not overwhelming. So I love that part of where I am now.
Yeah, I know the print edition of A Perfect Day is coming out as well. I want to reset real quick and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Web Presents here on Amazon Live, but we're simulcasting across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. Melissa Banks is back with us on. If you guys are watching us on IG, you know her as the Melissa Banks over there. Daniela Music, hello to you over there on IG. We're talking with her about a very busy March that she's having. It's Women's History Month, Women's Empowerment Month, but it also is National Reading Month, Melissa. So I'm going to tie this into your books because outside of what you've done in the books for event planning, you also do have your other books. You have the devotional, you have your journals. Talk to us about this experience of you from going from having zero books in 2020 to now having several.
Who would have dreamed it? I would have dreamed it for sure. And it doesn't get old, Cyrus. I can look at the books on the shelf in my office here, and I feel excited even on a day that I'm not excited. I can look at them and see, look, this is what God can do. If you just believe, if you keep going, trust your dreams and trust your faith to take you to the next step. I didn't sit around dreaming of being an author. That was not something I even thought that I would be, but look at what God has done. And I'm so grateful for that and I still get excited every time I see them.
Yeah, I love that. And another thing, going back to 2020, which was a big year, it's an interesting time to think about, Melissa, because that was a year for so many time for so many people. Their lives stopped, but you picked up a few things. Again, publishing books, but also starting the podcast. Talk to us about, for one thing, what it was like for you to start Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, the podcast, but also to add the Melissa Banks Show, and now this year celebrating your 100th guest.
Whew, who would have thought again? But listen to me. In 2020, I was one of those people that thought it was over. I was an event planner. That was my product. I didn't have any other products. That was it. And it was in person.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2020, when my books went from full to empty, I thought it was open. But look at what God has done. Not only did He present an opportunity to have the first podcast where I feature women and they're talking about their journey and we're inspiring other women, and we're still doing it today. But He also has opened up a door for a second one that we can inspire and reach some bigger audiences, men and women, and their journeys. That is not a dream. I will say it till I can't speak. God can dream for me bigger than I can dream for myself, because both of those things are simply not something I would have thought of. And almost this year we will hit 100 guests on Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. That's 100 women that have shared their stories. There's 100 stories that we have inspired and encouraged other women to do. That is 100. That is blowing my mind, even just saying it. So grateful.
Yeah, love that. I got a question over there on IG. ESP Presents. Ellen says, when planning, how do you help those who plan with their heart and not realistically with their budget? How do you reel them back in?
Great question. And that happens more than you think. But what we do is we sit down and we have a conversation about what you absolutely have to have. We talk about your vision and then your non-negotiables. No matter what that is, this is a have to. This is what has to happen. And then we create an event based on your have tos and your budget to create the vision that you want.
Love that. And it's great information too. I mean, a simple guy like me, I'm a country boy from Mississippi. I don't have big plans, but I know a lot of people, they do have these big ideas. I'm not a big idea person myself personally, but I can see how that could happen with people. But yeah. Yeah, it's great to be able to have that person there to help you. However, Melissa, one of your books though allows other people to be able to do it themselves, and that is Plan It Like a Pro. Talk to us about the motivation of writing this book.
Because there are people who just love planning events. They're the go-to person for their family. They're the go-to person for church folk and work people. They just love planning events. However, they get overwhelmed because it's a million things that goes into from I want to have an event to execution day. And so they get overwhelmed. This book came because of the questions like that, to organize it for you in a way that if you're that person that want to do it yourself, or if you're that person that's not a professional but just love planning events, it make sense to you. It's a process. It really is a process, and there's no way around it. If you go through a process, it won't feel overwhelming, and you can actually create memorable events and enjoy them while you're doing it with the help that we provide in this book. And then at the end of the day, you might decide you do need some help, and we're here for you for that too.
There you go. There's another message from the devotional I want to bring up. I want to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side, so you guys can be able to get that. Again, Dream by Design, the devotional. And this is it's 3 lines here, Melissa, but it's an important one for sure for our audience. And I think it's a message all of us can be able to think about: to start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. I think a lot of times we place unrealistic expectations on ourselves. We try to wait on the perfect time, like that really exists. How important has it been for you, Melissa, to do it imperfectly, to even do it messy, but the important thing to make sure that you're doing something?
Well, you know what? If I didn't, I would still be sitting at start, because you don't, if you wait on everything to line up, if you wait on all the money to be in place, if you wait on all the graphics to look perfect, if you wait on those things, you're going to be waiting. So what I found in my journey is I go for it. Sometimes going forward means doing it more than once. Sometimes going forward means messing up. I was talking to a guest on my show doing a taping yesterday. Is I used to stress if I fumbled a word in the intro, or if I didn't say a word right when I'm talking to a person. I don't anymore, because what I know for sure is I'm showing up. And if you don't show up, you can't get anywhere. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to get everything lined up and just do it.
Love that. Hey, Let's Chat Radio. Good to be able to see you over there, Alicia. Hello to you, Jacqueline. Spiritual Moonbeam 2020. She said, go ahead, Melissa. And that is so true. I think that is it. I think people are waiting on the perfect time, and that's why so many people don't do anything. You know, they think I have to get this before I can do that. I have to have this microphone. I have to have this light set. I have to have this computer. Some people even think you need an iPhone. I mean, there's just so many things that people say that they. I'm sorry. Did I say something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, but the important thing is just to do it. And I think that's the big thing. So speaking of that, Melissa, you're doing one of your biggest things this year, and that is you're releasing another book. And this one is not a devotional. It's not a journal. It's not a how-to book. You're releasing your autobiography, your memoir, called The Life I Design. I want to talk about that. First of all, congratulations. It's available now for pre-order for $4.99. Going to highlight it over there on the Amazon side. First of all, how does it feel, Melissa, to know that the book is coming out this year?
Woo! You know, when that book cover popped up on the screen, I started to feel all these feels in my stomach. This one is personal. This one, every word, every page touches my heart. I relive some moments. You know, we all have those moments that we have pushed way down. Writing this book is bringing those moments up. And I just believe this will be the book. This book will change someone's life to help them believe it's not where you start. And that is so important to me, that it will impact others. It will be the most challenging, because I'm bringing up some things that I thought I had buried for a long time, and reliving them and speaking them out loud and putting them in the book. But I'm so excited and nervous at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, Melissa. I think, and I should mention for full disclosure, Conversations Media Group is publishing this book, and I'm actually have the privilege of working with Melissa in telling the story. It was so interesting for me. Melissa and I, we've been going through our writing sessions. Don't tell her I told y'all this, but I'll say something in the writing session. She'll be like, I told you about. How does it feel to have those moments, Melissa, of, you know, for one thing, letting it out there, but also knowing that people will be able to know you in a very intimate way that they haven't before?
How scary is that, right? Because in those sessions, that moment that you mentioned, you would say something, and I was like, I'm going through my head trying to remember, when did I say that? When did I tell him about that? Because that's so scary, because I'm human, and people, sometimes our story doesn't show us in the best light. Sometimes our story, even if it's not something on us, we're ashamed of. That was the reason I didn't tell my story for many, many years until 2019. I told a little bit of it on a stage. It's because I was embarrassed of the story. So to be talking about it out loud and putting the words together to share that with the world, those thoughts come up. People who've known me for a long time don't know a lot of stuff that will be in that book. Will they judge me for that? You know, will they have opinions, or will they not respect me now because they know that? So those thoughts do come up in my mind as we write this book. But I know that I'm supposed to be doing it at this time.
All right. Again, The Life I Design is the book. The ebook's available now for $4.99 to be able to pre-order it. The print edition and the book is releasing later on this year. So definitely make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. So Melissa, that leads us to the last thing then, as we kind of talk about what you're doing. One of the things that you're celebrating this month, because it is Women's History Month, Women Empowerment Month, is your Women Who Shine series. Talk to us about that.
Oh my gosh, we're taping right now, guys. And when I tell you the women that we're spotlighting in this series have some amazing stories to share, each session has been absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait to, In fact, the first episode will release this week. The first One Who Shine series interview will air this week. Each one, though, we have 13, I think, that we will be airing in this series. That's 13 amazing women, 13 journeys that they're sharing, and 13 women to celebrate. So we are thrilled about this. One of my most favorite things that I do.
Yeah. And I think too, it, again, giving people an opportunity to tell their stories, right? But also to think about where they are and how they got there. I think it's such a big thing. So, Melissa, I mean, we've mentioned several things here. We've mentioned, of course, your memoir coming up, The Life by Design. We've talked about your podcast, celebrating your 100th guest of your podcast this year. We just talked about the Women Who Shine series. What are you the most excited about?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so amazing, right? How do I pick one to be most excited about? But I'm super excited about the Women Who Shine series. I just feel so excited when I talk to the women, to spotlight women. Everybody who knows me know how much I love empowering women. And that series gave me that chance to do that. So I'm really thrilled about that and excited as it comes out. But I'm also excited about the memoir coming, because that's so close to me and it's just so special. And I'm just really thrilled about that coming this year. So I'm excited to get that out.
Love that. Jacqueline says her birthday is March the 11th. Over there on IG. Again, glad you all could be with us. Melissa, a lot of great things happening. Very excited for you. Congratulations on a busy 2026. How can our audience stay connected with everything?
Cyrus, this has been an amazing conversation. You've been really nice all the way through it. Thank you for that. Thank you for having me. You can always connect with us at themelissabanks.com. That is where you can connect with our social media platforms. You can listen to some episodes of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, some episodes of the Melissa Banks Show, and you can schedule some time to talk to us about your amazing event that you're planning. Everything is right there at themelissabanks.com.
And I don't know. I think she's talking about somebody else. I'm always nice. So I don't know exactly why she felt the need to say I was nice. I'm always nice. I mean, I know people aren't used to that. I think that's what it is. You're not used to people being nice. But Melissa, it was a great conversation. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right. And we thank your audience for tuning in. It's another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Again, for you guys joining us on the Amazon side, if you guys are new to us over there, make sure you guys hit that follow button. We have some big things that are coming up over there on Amazon, either here in this corner or down below. Also, of course, all the books by Melissa Banks are there. Whether you're joining us live or catch the replay, you can get them from there. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.